What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, here with my brother from another big game, James. And it is another episode of Best of Enemies. We've been gone for a while, so we got a lot to talk about. And we're going to also do a little mock draft, a 4-round mock draft towards the end of this. But James, how you been, brother? It has been far too long, brother. It's been too long.
It's been far too long, but it's all good. It's been far too long, but you know what? We back in the building. A lot of things done happened in these last few weeks. A lot of things have happened. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to catching up to do, a lot of
Yeah.
things in the news, very funny things in the news.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this offseason. I mean, obviously, I'm going to start it off like this. The Cowboys have had a good offseason. I can't sit here and, hate on you guys. You guys have done what you were supposed to do. You guys went out there, have filled some holes, got some veterans, got some good players. So, and even some sneakily good players. So I can't, take anything away from what Dallas has done. I'll start there. I'll start with the giving you flowers, right? So I want to first know how you feel about that though, because obviously you do get Stephen Gilmore. Some people might say he's I think he still showed that he can play in this league last year at a high level. So I think that's a good pickup. Obviously you got a Brandon Cooks, who I think is an underrated wide receiver. How do you feel about these guys, and where do you see them kind of fitting in with Dallas this year?
Well, I thought it was very good. I mean, very good trades. The value was awesome. One thing we can never doubt about Steven Baby Nuts Jones, I'm gonna stop calling him Baby Nuts. People get mad at me.
I was about to say
They
he
dropped,
earned
they
some
dropped, they
respect
dropped
this
it.
year.
It's not disrespect. It's just the name I done give him to him now. It's just, it might as well just stick. They dropped a little bit, but hey, he did his thing as far as doing the trades and getting them. That's what you're supposed to do. If you got fourth round, fifth round, sixth round, seventh round picks, you give them up for quality players because those guys may never make the rosters, right? So that's why you give up those picks for proven vets. And so when you get a Stephen Gilmore, I mean, that's good because I hear what people are trying to say he's washed up, but this is only really a 1 year rental. He's what,
Yeah.
32 going on 33. This is really a 1 year rental. So it's not hurting anybody. It's not hurting the salary cap. It's not hurting nothing. So why are you not doing it? You gave up a fifth. That didn't hurt you. You flexed the contract. That didn't hurt at all. So why not get a proven veteran who's been to the Super Bowl, who had a very good year at Indianapolis? People trying to say he fell off. No, he didn't. Go check the stats.
Yeah, he
He
still played
definitely
well.
didn't. He definitely didn't fall off playing well over at Indy. And so now you get a bona fide number two. That's what Dallas has been looking for, to go opposite of Trevin Diggs, and then he can teach that young room and Deron Bland, and then Izzy Mukamo, and then whoever draft pick they get, because I'm sure they're going to still draft a corner. So he can be that leader in that room as far as those corners, to show them how to play the game and how to play the game the right way, how to compete, those type of things. So that's invaluable to me of what he's going to really add, not just on the field, but off the field as well. He's a great locker room presence, and you can never understate that. You feel me? Especially when you're coming from another team, you want to have a good locker presence, and I definitely think he's going to bring that. Brandon Cooks, Dallas has been wanting him for a few years. They wanted him last year. They're going to trade for him last year, but they weren't paying that $18 million salary. So they were smart. They waited it out, got the Texans to pay $6 million of it, got him over here. They just renegotiated his deal. Now he's down to like $4 million. He's only counting like 4 or 5 million against the cap. Cowboys, be like I said, they be working them deals. And now what he does is he extends the field. He stretches the field. We don't have somebody that can really stretch the field. He's still running that 4.3 speed. If you watched him last year, he still got that wheels. And like you said, he is underrated. I think he's the third leading NFL player since 2014, having 1,000-yard seasons, and he hasn't had the best quarterbacks, that's been throwing him the
Facts.
ball, and
Very
he's
true.
still been getting a 1,000-yard season. So, and one thing I like about it is, he didn't want to be a part of the Texans, a rebuilding process. He's ecstatic to come to Dallas because he wanted to compete. He wanted to play for what he felt a competitor. And he's saying, this is like a dream come true. So when you get a player like that who's a veteran, and he's excited to come, it helps that room as well. It helps that receiver room. And now you don't have to worry about putting all that pressure on CeeDee Lamb that you did last year. Now you got somebody else. You hopefully a Michael Gallup is good from a year two of the ACL, and then you still got your young guy in Jalen who can learn the ropes from these guys as well and come up slowly and not have that added pressure of coming in as the second year receiver and have to say, hey, you better produce now. So he can kind of slowly wean them in too. So I love how they did it. They didn't spend a lot of money. Draft picks, those were compensatory picks anyway. Get rid of those. Smart way to do it. I feel good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't really hate too much on it. I mean, as far as Eagles go, I don't think there's much to really talk about. There was for a little while with that Darius Slay thing, and then obviously he came right back. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, we brought some guys back. Chauncey Gardner Johnson is probably like the biggest loss. I think Hargrave, we knew that was coming. TJ Edwards, we knew that was coming. Isaac Seumalo was one I thought was going to happen way faster than it did. But again, we knew that was probably coming. Chauncey Gardner Johnson went into this offseason as like priority number one. And I will say one thing, it makes me feel good that my team went into this offseason with that mindset, because part of me, we watched our team forever, right? We know what their history is. We know what their tendencies are, right? That's a big word. So we know sometimes in our gut, even though it makes sense to us, they might not think that way. So I was kind of going into this offseason like, I hope that they still don't say, oh, we have no value towards the safety position. It seems like they gave him a fair offer for who he is in the league right now. He decided not to take it. He left, try to come back. We gave him a way worse offer, and it is what it is. So, life happens like that, but I'm happy they at least swung at that. And I'm happy that how he was able to pivot so quickly. Like, he didn't harp on, the whole CGJ situation. He got on the phone with James Bradbury and was like, all right, what do we have to do? Got on the phone with Darius Slay and figured something out. So it is what it is. It's not, and I was asked earlier, so I wanted to kind of say this because somebody asked me, have the Eagles gotten better? They haven't. They have not gotten better. But I will say that they probably at worst sidestepped at this point. Like, if you really look at where the Eagles are right now, I don't think that they're a horrible team. Defensively, you have a lot of question marks, but you have a lot of question marks even if you have the same team with a whole new system and a whole new defensive coordinator. So I'm going to sit back and we'll see what happens. I'm not too far down on this team, but the thing I know a lot of people want to talk about.
They're going crazy about the Zeke thing. Let's get it out the way. Let's get this dang on thing out the way, man.
I wanted to get over my soliloquy real quick. But yeah, so where do we start with this? Because I'll say this much right now.
Well, let's talk about it how we were talking about it off air before we jumped on here. Let's talk it real.
Yeah,
let's talk it real.
I've said it from before. I don't want him, and I'll even repeat the joke that I was telling you that I told my friends. Like, I told my friends, at the end of the day, I'll sign him to like a little 10-day contract for $2 million just so we could piss some people off, get the Twitter buzz. But realistically, like, for my Eagles right now, I don't think we need him. And that's if this is a luxury pick and we just had a bevy amount of, salary cap and it didn't really matter. And, you already had a bunch of young guys and you knew he was going to come in and be your number two. Maybe we're having a different discussion. But at this point, it's like you need somebody that's either going to be here for the next 4 or 5 years like Miles, or you need to be realistic about what he's going to be. And if we're going into it next year and he's getting over 15 touches for my team, I'm going to be worried about that. So I'm sure he can play very well behind this offensive line, but I just don't think that is worth it. I don't really see it happening, if I'm being 100% honest. And to even go a step further before you give your opinion, Jeff McClain, I want to say it was, from NBC, went as far as saying that the Eagles haven't even reached out to the Zeke's camp. Like, they had no intentions of reaching out to Zeke's camp. So I don't think that is going to happen. We'll see what happens there. But what do you think on your side? If you did see Zeke in an Eagles jersey, 2 times a year, just talk to me. I don't even know what question to ask, to be honest.
I'm going to just keep it real. As soon as I heard it, I was like, my first thought was, and then when I seen they saying he wants to play for the Eagles, I don't know if they're just sensationalizing stuff, because all these dudes be lying in the media. They say they saying they real. Yeah, they just be lying, to get the buzz going. You feel me? And if it were to happen, it wouldn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? I was the one, and people didn't like what I said, but I was the one that's saying, hey, it's time for Zeke to go. I appreciate everything he did. He was a dog, but I felt like it was time. So, it's not hurting me, and I feel like he's not going to be, if he was with y'all, like you said, I don't feel like he would be no major factor. And like you said, if he was getting 15 or some carries for y'all, that's bad for y'all, because in that saying your running back position is not in a good state right now if you're leaning on Zeke. You feel what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I would be nervous.
And I just feel like if he wanted to go to the Eagles, the only reason why Zeke would want to go to the Eagles is just to show the Dallas Cowboys he still got it. That's the only reason why I would feel like he would want to go to the Eagles. My personal opinion, we were just talking about this off air, gone over the Cincinnati Bengals. If you said the interest was the Cincinnati Bengals, that's where you need to go, because you're going over there with Ohio State, a guy who played at Ohio State, and then he still got them Ohio State roots, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
You're going to Ohio, where you are loved and beloved as a Buckeye. Still, you're a legend. And you can actually do something in Cincinnati, I believe. I believe you could have a decent couple years in Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? They can get another good – they can keep – I don't know what's going to go with Joe Mixon, but even if they get a running back, I think that would be a good destination for him. And I think he could have a good couple years in Cincinnati. So I get what you're trying to do maybe in your camp, Zeke. Throwing Philly out there, everybody talking about it on Twitter.
Yeah, he'll be the Cowboys, Boston Scott, like the Cowboys version of Boston Scott.
You know what I'm saying?
Just kill the Cowboys twice.
I mean, it's like, okay, I just, like I said, when DeMarco Murray was coming to y'all, dog, I knew it was going to be a disaster. That was the first thing I said when they said they were getting DeMarco Murray. I said, go ahead, because you know what? He ain't going to do nothing over there. I knew that system wasn't going to fit him. It was this total disaster. And I just looked at a thing where it showed Miles Austin, Chris Bonio, Herschel Walker. Bad history of our Cowboys going over there and doing it. And for real, y'all don't have bad history coming over us, because we had Nolan Carroll. We had the other defensive tackle that came in with us, and I ain't like him neither. I thought he was actually going to do something, but then he didn't. Dallas cut both of them. So I just feel like if you was a long-time Eagle, you can't come to the Cowboys. And if you was a long-time Cowboys, you can't come to the Eagles. That's just where I feel. I don't like that.
My thing is,
go somewhere else.
I want to clarify this. I want to clarify to everybody, because I don't want necessarily Zeke on this team. I wouldn't be mad if we got him. I wouldn't be sitting here like, I can't believe it is what it is. Like, I feel along the same line as you. It just feels wrong if it looks weird. But in this situation, I will say, because I heard people say the DeMarco Murray, like, oh, I'm good, and make that comparison. I think it's a totally different scenario, and it comes down to who Zeke wants to be. Like, if Zeke comes to the Eagles and is like, listen, I just want to be a part of your rotation, I know you can utilize me in different ways, then maybe it's something I'm open to. And a small contract, a reasonable contract, maybe it makes sense, because I do think that Nick Sirianni is very multiple in what offense he can run. I don't think that it's just, and shout out to Martin Perez, he brings up the RPO. I don't think it's just the RPO. And matter of fact, I don't even think that's
Zeke
how
ain't no RPO.
Exactly.
Yeah, Zeke is going. Y'all going to use him inside the 10-yard line or some short yardage. That's what he's going to be. A short yardage guy. When y'all get inside the 10, if he's in the game, that's what he did with Dallas. That's what he's going to be known for. He's a power strong back. He still has that physicality that he can still lead that pile. So yeah, that's where you get him, and that's where you'll be scoring a lot of touchdowns if you do it. That's where he would really cook, because you're going to have other guys that have more of a speed element, that you're going to need speed, especially if you have Hurts. Hurts is going to run the ball. So you're going to have somebody that's got to be able to run on that outside with him. That's why you had those fast guys with him. You get what I'm saying? So I just don't see it. And shout out to everybody that's in the building. Shout out to everybody who's coming in. Shout out to my boo, because she's in there. But shout out to everybody in the building. I want to give a big ups to all the Cowboys and all the Eagles people. But to me, it don't make sense to me for you to do it. Cincinnati seems like the best destination. It don't make no sense to me.
I think the Eagles are, and a lot of NFL teams, and this is probably what Zeke is realizing in the open market, but there's a lot of teams out there right now that are looking at this draft and they're like, I'm good.
Salivating.
We'll figure this out. Like, if I have a pick, I'm good. We'll figure it out. Because there's so many guys in this draft, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, if it happens, it happens. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to talk about it, and we'll see what happens. I don't think that it's something we need, and that's the only reason why I'm saying I don't think that it should happen, because we don't really need that right now. We need something different. So, hey, shout out to him. I really don't hate Zeke. I hate the Cowboys. If he ends up on the Bengals, if he ends up anywhere, I'm probably gonna watch him. I was gonna say I was gonna root for him, but I probably won't. I don't want to lie to y'all. It is.
I'm gonna keep my eye on him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna definitely keep
Yeah,
my eye on him. But you know what? He don't play for the Cowboys no more. So
exactly.
it's just I just feel like there's certain players that are maybe like so good. I'll keep my eye on them. You feel what I mean? But once you kind of leave the Cowboys, I don't really just kind of be thinking about you no more. I mean, that's just what it is. Especially if you go to another team, like an enemy team, like when players leave and go to Washington and stuff after they've been to Dallas for a while. I don't be feeling them no more. I don't just be looking at them like that no more. That's just me because I don't really like Washington. So I just feel like, when you go in division teams and you've been with a team long, it just don't make no sense to me. I just feel like you're just trying to spite.
Yeah, shout out to Michael DeJean in the chat. Shout out to someone else said it on my side, on both sides. So John Pace said Bijan, and Michael DeJean said Bijan. Excuse me, I'm
Bijan,
Bijan. I'm over
Bijan,
here. Yeah, I'm over here
Bijan.
messing everything up. But shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 85 people in the chat between all the channels. So definitely hit that like wherever you are. Subscribe to both channels. You guys are killing it. We're gonna kind of go through these comments first. Before we get into this mock draft, but people are bringing up Bijan, and the Eagles fans would love to get Bijan. Obviously, we sit at 10. There's a mixed crowd there. You guys sit at kind of a perfect position that if he falls to you, it makes a lot of sense. How do you feel about getting a Bijan Robinson? Do you think that might be where the Cowboys want to go in this draft? How are you feeling about him? He's a great player. I mean, he's an amazing player.
Yeah, he's a very good player. I mean, Texas is my squad, so I've definitely seen him and what he does and what he can bring to the table. That'll be tough. I'm gonna be honest with you because there's a lot of good offensive linemen out there, and you want to get that line together as well. But with the Cowboys, at 26. That's close to almost a second round pick. Maybe that's their thinking. We don't pay as much for the running back then. I think the biggest thing is the running back when you're saying the first round, they're just looking at the contract. I think that's the only reason why people are talking about Bijan. Why we stay away from him is because the contract. Because if you're going on value, I mean, why kind of wouldn't you take him? You have a back in Tony Pollard who's coming off injury. Malik Davis, he's good, but he was undrafted. You picked up Ronald Moore. He's okay. He's nothing that you're jumping up and down about. You can get this guy for at least 4 years. You don't have to re-sign him after it's over. You can add that 5th year if you want, and then let him walk, and then you get somebody else. I don't think it's going to kill you on the salary cap if you draft a running back at 26. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Especially if he has that size that just like you want. He's almost about 6 foot, almost a damn near the same measurables as Zeke's, like about 217 pounds. I don't think he's as physical as him, obviously, but definitely nice running back as a whole. And you can get a little better in that passing game, but you love what he brings. But as I said, if you're drafting him at 26, you're not in a bad place as far as the money wise, right? And then, like I said, after 4 or 5 years, you don't want him no more, move on. It's okay. Like you'll still be okay. You can still draft. You'll be okay, won't you? Don't you think?
And that's why I've never really understood the logic of saying people undervalue a position and then saying that's why they don't draft it. If they undervalue it as far as second contracts, and I think that's kind of where the disparity is, like they don't get the second contract. But if you can tell a team, hey, especially a good team, right? Like you tell a team like the Cowboys or a team like the Bills or a team like the Eagles, you can get a top 5 running back for rookie rates for the next 5 years, 6 years. Even if you look at that tag, that's really not that much money. A Saquon Barkley for $10 million is really not much, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he's worth way more. So at the end of the day, if you look at that and you're saying, hey, I know this guy is going to be a stud, but that's really what it comes down to. I mean, and that's what it comes down to for all players. For me, in the top 10, the Eagles have so many other things they got to worry about. And I just feel like there's so many good running backs in this draft. I really do feel like you can get a day 1 starter, day 3. Like I think that there's a lot of good running backs in this draft. So if they do get him again, if they do get him with the number 10 pick, I'll be shocked, to be honest. But if they do, that's what they do. And we figure it out from there. There's definitely ways around that. But I still think the Eagles are looking at either offensive line or defensive line. That's where we live. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
you look at all the re-signings that we did and the people that we prioritized, it looks like we're going to do that again. Maybe a linebacker somewhere in there. So it'll be interesting. Bijan's going to be very good. He's going to be very, very good in this league. It's a tough decision for anybody. I really do feel like that. Unless you're like 20 and below, then it gets a little bit easier, but still, just a first round running back. I know a lot of people get scared by that. It is
Yeah,
what it is, though. If you
a
can get
lot
a
of
great player,
I mean, a lot of people get scared by it in the early parts, but like I said, if you're later in the draft, that's
yeah,
why I said it's not terrible. A lot of people are always saying, no, we don't want to get a running back in the first round. Now, I don't want no tight end in that first round. Now, that's what I don't want because that's what everybody's talking about now. And I guess Kincaid or one of the guys, he's hurt, back injury, whatever. But they're talking about the kid from Georgia as well. Like, oh, let's get this dude. I mean, I get the talent, tight end. I just feel like you want to solidify this offensive line more than that tight end when you got some guys already on the roster. Like, are you just
yeah.
saying that they ain't that good, or are you just saying they not that dynamic? They're just regular. We had all this hoo ha for them before. Now all of a sudden, they just all right. And we got to get another dynamic tight end. I mean, which is it? I'm trying to figure it out because I know we still got to figure out that offensive line because it's still a little shaky. You re-sign a Tyron Smith to cover for Terrence Steele because he's still out with injury, still rehabbing. Tyron Smith is already stay hurt. You missing a guard position because Tyler Smith is your left tackle. So you still got to solidify that. So it'll be crazy because the way this draft is going to fall, Joe, it's going to be all kind of players available, and it's going to be a lot of choices.
This is one of those drafts. I said this on Twitter, and I kind of got a little bit of hate for it. But this is one of those drafts where you really find out what your GM's all about. Like this isn't one of those. Oh, this is just so many can't hit excuse me, can't miss prospects. Right? There's not like a bunch of guys that are like, oh, these guys are generational. It's a lot of perfect fit guys. It's a lot of guys that it's like if you run the right system for this player, he
Mm-hmm.
can be very good at the next level. And to kind of circle back to the whole talk about the fifth year and what I was trying to say with the running back, I think that if you even it comes down to how you rate a pick or how you value a pick. Are we saying it's valued by the second contract, or are we valuing it by what they do in that contract span, like in that first 5 years? Because then it's a different way of looking at it, especially for running backs. If you're getting that production for 5 years, maybe you look at the value a little bit different. If you're looking at it as I want a guy that's going to be here for 10 years, then it's maybe a little bit different in that aspect. But it is what it is with that. We'll see what happens there. There's
And
so
plus,
many different
and,
guys.
another thing is, I don't know if Tony Pollard is getting re-signed to a long-term deal.
Yeah.
That he just signed his franchise tag today, so they can't rescind it, so it's on the books right now. They still, I believe, you still got a time to negotiate it before it's set in stone, and then you're just playing on it. But I just don't. I'm not confident that they are gonna make a deal for him, even though I feel like they should at least give him a 2 or 3 year deal. He's in good prime years. This will be good for him. But I don't feel like they're going to do that. And if he's going to be the rental, it just to me, are you going to are you going to do running back by committee? Because I haven't really never seen Dallas go running back by committee. They like getting one guy and having a stud type guy and letting him be the bell cow, and then you bring up a guy behind him. That's the way Dallas operates. I don't know if they're going to move away from that, but that's the way I've seen Dallas. They like to get one guy and let him be the man. So that's why I said Bijan is in the play, because that's how like Dallas likes to roll. So, and I don't know if Pollard is not the guy that you want to get 20 carries a game. He's not going to be the effective running back getting 20 carries a game, not in my opinion, being a bell cow or type running back. That is not his game. So you do need a guy that needs to be able to be that type of back with him because it makes him even more effective in the long run.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do something that probably get you upset today in this mock draft. Well, not maybe not you. Honestly, not you, because especially just hearing what you said about it and all, but probably some of your fans. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of Cowboys fans are going crazy over Bijan. So we're gonna see what we can do. But you down to do the mock draft? You down to get into that?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, shout out to everybody in here, man. We got a buck 20 between all the channels, so we definitely appreciate you. Definitely hit that like, hit that subscribe, and keep going wild in that chat. We'll take suggestions. We'll listen to what y'all say, and we'll get it popping. So I'm gonna make it bigger.
Yeah, make that bigger.
Can you see that good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, bad. Should I take down the chat? Or are you good with it? I think we'll be straight. We
We
have everything
straight.
set.
I'll have
Yeah.
you. I ain't in the way.
All right, so we're gonna go 4 rounds. Yeah, I already picked. Unfortunately, the team all the way. This Dookie right here, but we also
Yeah,
got
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
damn near Super Bowl champ, baby. Yeah,
Damn
that
near.
sounds stupid. Yeah, that sounded
Yeah,
stupid.
feel me?
That sounded dumb
That
when I
ain't
said
that
it.
that that ain't even sound right. Hey, all I say is every time I went to the grocery store today, dog. I had my Cowboys hat on, right? And it's so funny about you Eagles fans. Y'all kill me. See, y'all, we always stay on your mind. I just had to say this before we start the draft. I'm just mind my business, getting some groceries, dog. Just getting me some groceries. He like, that's a sorry hat. And I'm like, what, bro? I'm like, I look at him like, what are you talking about? I'm like, so who's your squad? He's like, Philly. I'm like, see,
Hey, I like
every
that guy.
it never fails. A Philly fan always comes up to me and starts talking trash. I don't.
I like that guy.
I'm like, man, we stay on your mind. But I said, we just stay on your mind. And he was like, yeah, but you see what we did. I said, yeah, y'all stuck on one. There's nothing
Hey,
else for you
we
to
gonna
tell
get
me.
we getting
And
our second one this
and,
year.
and then the stuttering starts. Then the stuttering starts. You stuck on one. It was great that you went there. It was great how you played, but you're still stuck on one. And guess what? We still split with y'all, and we still been whooping you. So shush.
Yeah, it's all good. We're gonna get our second one this year. I ain't worried about it.
Mm-hmm. All
All right,
right.
and then we're gonna get the next 3 years.
Sure, buddy.
So we'll start this off. So yeah, I mean
Bryce
Jalen
Young,
Carter.
Will Levis, they tripping already. They ain't taking no damn
Will
Will
Levis at
Levis.
2. If they
Hell
take
no.
Will Levis over,
They
if
they
I
over
would be
CJ
surprised,
Stroud,
yeah, this
y'all
is crazy.
tripping. Y'all
I would be
tripping.
surprised if CJ Stroud is
Tim
not the number
Couch.
one pick.
Tim Couch part two.
Will Levis, yeah, Will Levis, I don't think he's good at all. I really don't think he's good. So, I mean, Jalen Carter, if I didn't take Jalen Carter right here, everybody would.
Ooh.
But I think this is a good conversation piece because you have been a coach, you have worked with, young men, young athletes, and kind of mentally what they go through and everything. So, this is honestly probably the perfect person to bring this up with. I don't want to take a position on Jalen Carter just because of what's going on, and I don't know if it's a one-time mistake. I don't know if it's I don't know what it is, and I don't want to even make an assumption of what it is. But what are your thoughts if you were in the because luckily Cowboys fans most likely don't have to worry about this situation. But if you were in our situation and he dropped to number 10, how would you feel about your team going ahead and taking him? What are some things we have to be careful of as a franchise? You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not trying to brag, but I think I am pretty good at this. I'm good at with personalities and players and young men because of coaching. But you have to really go back and see if this is a isolated incident. Okay, you
Yeah.
got to go back in that background. You got to go back. I mean, honestly, I go back high school, I check middle school, I check friends, and then I really try to get to know what the people are saying about him. You know what I mean? And then you get, like I said, you got to see if this was an isolated incident. If this was like a one-time thing and you haven't heard about these things throughout the school, from friends, from partying, things like that, then I'm going to say that was a mistake. Okay. You made a mistake. That happens. You're young, not even young. People old have made mistakes. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
to me, if it's not something habitual, if you haven't seen other red flags, then guess what? We're okay. We don't have to sit there. You just, hey, it's okay. You just monitor, you make sure you stay talking and always keep an open mind to things. But that wouldn't stop me from taking them. If it was a habitual thing, like my thing is like with Kelvin Joseph. I hate to bring him up because people be getting on me when I do, but that's just my case. Because when the Cowboys drafted Kelvin Joseph, I didn't want that pick because of his red flags. Okay.
Yeah.
We drafted him in the second round. I said I didn't want that second round pick. Asante Samuel was more cleaner. They went with the measurables. But I said, dog, this dude had red flags. He hasn't played a lot of games, but he's got flags. He had trouble in high school. He had trouble in college. And I feel like he might not just be fully into the game with that rap career because that's heavy on him. He's heavy on social media. Those flags are going to come up. oh, don't label him because he raps, and don't label. That's what I was hearing. That's what people was getting on me for, big. You feel me, Joe? They was on me for like that, and I was like, okay. And then guess what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Guess what? You get in trouble with almost you get in trouble. There's a murder. You're around the crowd. You're still hanging with these people. I don't know about now because I'm not judging. I'm just saying this is what actually happened. So if you had all them flags before, that's probably gonna happen again.
Yeah, I
You get
mean,
what
yeah,
I'm
no, I
saying?
agree. I agree, and that's what I was saying. I think I talked about this in one of my lives, and I was like, I don't want to take a position on him because I can't talk to him. If I could sit down and have a conversation with him, and obviously that probably would never happen, but I'm sure the Eagles have the opportunity to do this. They have the opportunity to sit down, talk to him, understand who he is. Like you said, go through his past, kind of figure out who he is, and like you said, I think you said it perfectly. Is this a isolated incident, or is this something that is going to continue to happen? So yeah, I get it. I definitely get it, and that's literally where I stand. So I'm glad that I asked. But with that said, I am going to take Jalen Carter. I mean, with all that
He said,
said,
with all that said, I was
it
taking him
is what it
anyway.
is. Look, if the Eagles feel comfortable with it, I feel comfortable with it. I have full faith that my team is gonna do their due diligence, and if he has red flags going back, then I'm sure they're gonna not take him. But I can't say that he does. So if we're just going off talent, I don't want to get roasted for the next 2 weeks on Twitter because of this. So I got to take Jalen. I got to take Jalen, big dog.
And then, just to expand upon that, when they were talking about his pro day, he was a little bit out of shape. He didn't finish things of that nature. I mentioned that you have that case over your head because I've been in it, and you're playing sports, and you have that case over your head where you can possibly get jail time or something can happen. You're not gonna have probably the best pro day combine. That stuff weighs on your head, and if that stuff is in your mind, you're probably not gonna run the best 40. You're not gonna play the best. That's real. And he's a young athlete thinking, man, I'm gonna probably lose money. This is gonna happen. That weighs on you, and you probably don't do your best in that. So I'm not gonna hold that to him as well. Obviously, you don't want to have that happen, but when you're having something like that over your head, it's hard for me to say that you're going to be playing at your best.
I respect that. I definitely respect that. So now the Cowboys are on the clock. I did try to stop it because I
And
wanted to try and get
did
what's his
Bijan
name,
go?
Bijan. Yeah, Bijan went at 17 to the
Who he went?
Steelers, which that don't
What?
make no sense.
Don't
Yeah,
make
that
no
don't make
sense. They
no
got
sense.
Najee Davenport. Who is this? Who is this?
Yeah,
PFF?
this PFF.
Okay,
They've usually
PFF.
been
I
pretty
like
good
PFF. I
too.
like PFF.
Yeah, they're usually pretty
I've
good.
been subscribed to them for like 2 years. I mess with PFF.
Yeah, I rock with PFF.
They people be getting on them. I just don't. Only thing bad with me is I don't go with the grades. I don't touch the grades. The grades don't. But when the breakdowns and the information that they give, bro,
Yeah, they
that's
watch
a number one.
everything.
That
They
that's
watch
a They
everything.
watch everything. That information is a number one. I don't care. I'm
I've
rolling
had
with it.
Sam Monson on a couple times. Like,
Yeah, I seen that.
yeah, he's bro. When you talk to him, sometimes I even did a show with him for my other job, and it's just like you talk to him.
His knowledge is
Yeah,
crazy.
it's like, bro, what else do you do? Like, do you do anything else like
No,
other than watch football?
his knowledge
It's
is crazy.
crazy. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's cool. It's dope. You learn a lot from him. But yeah,
Here
you
we are.
guys. You've been talking about my guy Kalijah. I
Yeah, I'm jumping on
love
him
Kalijah
again. I'm doing
Cansey.
him
I
again.
love him. I
And
love
see,
him.
you know what I said? I had to watch the tape because they looked at the size, but dog, that tape is
Yeah,
crazy.
he's nice.
And here's my thing. I don't want to go with another undersized guy, but I'm gonna do it because we got undersized in the middle. We need that big boy. But this dude, hey man, maybe we get another guy. You re-sign Hankins, Bohanna's back, and then you can rotate him. I'm going for him right there. I am not passing on that because dog, that quick first step, and he don't give up.
Yeah.
His motor is crazy.
Yeah.
We're doing
And
that.
he can literally line up anywhere. And shout out to if Cowboys fans want to learn, I did a whole video about Kalijah Cansey because I really do like him a lot.
Yeah.
If you didn't take him at 26, I was gonna try and talk myself out at 30 just because we got Jalen
Hell
Carter.
no,
But
I was taking him. Hell no, I was
he's a
taking
beast.
him.
He's a beast. You can line him up anywhere. He can stand up and rush. He can do a lot. I know a lot of people are worried about his size and if he's gonna be kind of taken advantage of as far as like strength goes. But I think he'll be fine. I think he has enough in his toolbox to get around that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
This
I
is
think he's got enough in his toolbox as well, and out making that happen. And like I said, if you get guys in front of him, like I said, if we resign a Hankins and you still got a Bohanna, and maybe you keep a Carlos Watkins if he's on the cheap, those are guys that you can keep ahead of him and then rotate him in and let him kind of just be spicy here and there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, yeah, we're definitely doing that. We're doing that. And the Cowboys probably wouldn't do it, but I'm doing it.
He's about doing it. I respect that. Hey, sometimes you got to just make the right decision.
Yeah, I'm just doing it.
And I think that Kalijah Cansey's an Eagles type of guy. I'll be 100% real. I really think he's the type of guy that they would get. All right, I'm going to see if I can't move back a little bit so I can get a couple of picks here. Let me see if I can't get 96. Extend my thing alone. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a. We should have some.
I ain't got all time. I ain't got time for all them trades right now.
Hey, I just want to get a little bit more picks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let me get 105 too. Oh, you ain't. I'll take that. All right. Let that go. All right. Now, who am I going to take? I like Michael Mayer, though. I really do. I know a lot of people are on Dalton Kincaid, but I really like Michael Meyer or Michael Mayer, whatever, however you say his name.
Michael Mayer.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles went with a tight end in this draft because there's some really good ones in this draft. Now, here for the Eagles, I'm really torn. I'm torn between Steve Avila because I think he is probably the best guard in this draft right now, like pure inside guy. He can do a little bit of everything. He's definitely the best inside guy. Antonio Johnson is somebody I would love the Eagles to get. I would absolutely love them to get. Let me see what they have.
They're telling you go O-line.
Yeah, they're telling. Is that what they're saying in the chat?
I'm seeing in the chat they're telling you go O-line. And then they going back and forth about arguing about the schedule and stuff.
They just having their own conversation. I love it. Shout out to everybody. We got 130 people.
Yeah, let's go, baby. Hit that like button. Share.
So I'm between Antonio Johnson right now, and if I did go O-line, I would go Steve Avila. I would probably go Steve Avila. I like Dwan Jones. I know Dwan Jones.
Yeah, take Dwan Jones.
Every time I see
take
him.
Dwan Jones.
I hope he ain't watching this.
Take Dwan Jones.
That's what it is.
Who? Dwan Jones. Who? Dwan Jones. Take Dwan Jones, dog.
This is tough. I think I have to be smart and go how he would go. And I wouldn't be mad at this because I just have a personal thing that I like Antonio Johnson because Antonio. Yeah, I said Johnson, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. But yeah, I think I got to be smart and go with what I think he'll do. So I'm gonna go Steve Avila, and I know that you guys like him too. So
yeah, that's why. That's how y'all do it. That's how y'all always do it.
Makes it even better.
Y'all always do that. Y'all always watching us. Always watching us.
I know Tucker or Rome. They're gonna tweet about that. So
I'm always watching us.
Some
always
ammo, you know.
All right, so this is the best available right now.
Yes, sir.
Scroll down.
You got a quarterback.
Nah.
Y'all could definitely use one of those.
Please.
Andre Carter, the fall off is crazy.
Oh, yeah, because he only did 11 on the bench.
Yeah.
Matthew Bergeron. I might.
He's from Canada.
Scroll down a little bit more.
Got you. Look at all those running backs.
I know, right?
It's crazy. Ooh, see, I got.
Ooh. I already got my D tackle. Though. But let's go up. I'm gonna go ahead and get my tackle from where's he at? Syracuse. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab him up because we need some more line help, and hopefully this gamble works right on this one.
That man.
It may
big,
not.
Bro.
It may not have.
Big.
It may not.
That dude's big. No, you pause. But I saw him at the combine. That boy is huge, bro. I was like, oh my god, he's huge. But yeah, he should be a good player, man. The Eagles actually had a formal with him before the combine, so yeah, we'll see what happens there. I know that's somebody that they wouldn't mind. So I got my guard. I got my defensive interior. This feels like I don't know why I keep on mocking Garrett Williams to them, but I feel
Because you
like he's
just
a guy
love
that they
him.
like.
You
I
just
do
love
like
him.
him. I do like him, and I think that ACL injury, it sucks and everything, but I think he still played well, so I think he's fine. Andre Carter. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be the most upset if they got him here.
Man, don't. I mean, like I said, I was already sus on him. I thought he was a little overrated, and
Yeah.
I know the bench press don't mean everything, but at 6'7", 270 or something like that,
Oh
you only
yeah.
doing 11.
I was wrong about him. Unless
Mm-mm.
he shows me something in the NFL, that was somebody I was pounding my chest about early in the process and thought he was going to be somebody, that just tested out of this world. And his combine was just bad. It was just bad. Look, the Eagles can go a number of ways. Before I make, because I know who I'm going to take. Garrett Williams is a guy that I think that they did have a formal meeting with. He was excited to talk about playing with that front seven, and he knows that they like to get after the quarterback, and he just felt it could help him. Hodges Tomlinson is a guy that they could definitely pick up. I don't know if Zach Charbonnet is a guy that they would get. They did meet with him, but I don't know if that's their cup of tea. Sidney Brown, we met with his brother, so maybe they get Sidney and they get his brother later in the draft. But I'm gonna go with Jamie Robinson. This is a guy I've been mocking to the Eagles a couple of times because he keeps falling kind of into our lap. Siaki is a guy that I like as well. But yeah, I'm going Jamie Robinson. I think that fills a need at that safety spot, and I'm happy about that. I'm having mimosas with my girlfriend after that draft. I'm good.
All right, so we back on the clock.
Yes, sir.
All right, so scroll down for me, or up, or however you're doing it. Okay. Ooh, see, it's gonna be tough between Tajay Spears or go back up or down. The very top or Tank Rigsby.
He another one. He's big, bro. He is strong. He's
Ah,
scary.
I like Tank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a very good player.
I'm going
I'm
with Tank
surprised
right
he's
there. I'm
I'm
going with
surprised
Tank
he's
right
ranked
there.
so low, to be honest. If
I
I'm
know.
being
I
real.
think because he don't really have a lot of high end speed.
Yeah.
And I think that's what knocked him down a little bit. But dog, he brings everything else to the table.
Now here I want to be as Howie as I possibly can. Okay. And here I feel like you have a nice little cluster of running backs that I feel very comfortable with. Garrett Williams. And now let's remember that I have a pick and 2 picks because, of my amazing trading prowess. But I want to look at these running backs real quick before I say what I'm about to go too long in that soliloquy. I like a Kendre Miller. I know that they've met with him. They've met with Roshan Johnson.
Sean
They've
Tucker,
met.
he's
I
nice
don't think
too.
they met with Tajay Spears, but he is a guy that he's very good.
Yeah, he is.
Chase Brown, like I said, they've met with him, so maybe he's a guy that they want. Israel is a very good player. Muhammad, I think, is going to go a lot higher than they're saying. Tyon Evans is a guy that I think can go a lot higher than people are thinking. So I'm going to say we're going to go with a position I think we love to fill, and it's going to be KJ Henry from Clemson. I think he's a guy that I think is going to go higher than 94. I think maybe in the second round, but he's a very, very good edge rusher. Another guy you can move all over that defensive line, and I think he can eat for you. So I would love to get him. I would love to get a wide receiver right here, and if I did, it would probably be a Michael Wilson because I like him. Let me just see what I'm doing here. Jaden Reed's another guy I like. Jacorian Bennett is an interesting player. Let me see what we're going to do. If I didn't take a safety already, I wouldn't mind Jair. Trey Palmer, that speed, and I think he's like 6'3", if I'm not mistaken. Am I wrong? 6 foot. Yeah, he looked like he was 6'3". I thought I was 6'3". He looked taller than me. So what do I want to do here, actually? I feel like they would get Garrett. Oh, damn. Rice Hawkins tore his ACL. That's tough. My girlfriend's going to be upset.
Who?
Rice Hawkins, he plays for the Phillies. He just
Oh,
tore his ACL. Yeah, in spring training at that.
damn.
Yeah, it's spring training, but that's a tough loss. That's a tough loss for the team. I'm gonna go Garrett Williams. I think that's what I think this is like. If this happened for them, I think they would look at this and be like, I can't believe he's still there. So I'm gonna go Garrett Williams. I'm overthinking it. You know, you ever caught yourself and you're just like, all right,
Yeah, yep.
I'm way overthinking this. Just go with
Mhm.
what's in your face.
Damn. We way down there now.
They took your whole team, bro.
They took
They
everything,
took all your
bro.
picks.
They took everything, dog.
We super sim to the 7th round. We in the
Jeez. Dang. Go to a
Ooh, Davis Allen.
hmm.
Y'all can have Chase Brown. He's still there. I know y'all got Tank. Riley Moss. I thought Riley Moss was black till I went to the combine.
Go to
I'm
receiver
not gonna
right
lie
there.
to you. I am not gonna lie to you. Mm. That's the first time I've seen his name up this high. I'm not gonna lie. That's bars.
Go to edge. They took my Carl Brooks. I was hoping they was gonna leave him alone one more round.
Yeah, that's why I took my dog. I was like, I ain't waiting, bro. I was like, let me stop playing around.
And let's look at corner. Took all the damn good corners too.
I didn't watch much to be 100%
What's them
honest.
linebackers looking like? I have to go through all this.
Yeah, I haven't watched much of Miles Brooks, but I did watch a little bit of his tape because I talked to him at the combine. I was like, let me see what this guy's all about. He was pretty good, and he was funny. I ain't gonna lie. He was talking about like Lil Yachty and stuff. The questions they were asking were weird. So it was cool how you answered them though. Linebacker is a very weird situation this year.
Man. All right, go to edge. I'm gonna get my yeah.
Yeah, Diaby or this?
Yep. We're scooping him up.
I think that might be it. Yeah. All right. So they're gonna grade our.
They probably ain't gonna give me a great grade.
I wish they separated it. Oh, they do. Okay, perfect. You got an A-?
Oh, I got an A-. Okay.
That's solid.
You feel me? I got the A+ with, cause see, I always get the A+ with Cansey.
Yeah,
that's the A+ right there. You know what I mean?
It started going downhill. Like every pick,
every pick after that was like B+, B.
Yeah, all right, now let's see what Joe did. Let's see what Joe was able to pull off. B+, I ain't mad at that. They hating on Jamie. Wow.
They hating big time.
I got him literally where they have.
They hating on KJ Henry too.
Yeah, they are. They are.
They hating on Henry, but they love him. What did Garrett get? Because I can't see the chat.
Garrett got an A. They gave a Garrett Williams.
I was about to say, especially with his by the third round. Yeah, definitely was getting that.
I ain't mad at that. What is everybody? Let us know in the chat. What do y'all grade our drafts?
I mean, I got an A. I felt like mine was solid. I mean, we got a bell cow type running back that they want. Matthew Burton, you got a guy that can play a tackle position, like you said, is a good size. He did give up 5 sacks last season, but he's a big guy. I don't know if he's versatile where he can play two positions, play some guard. But that Cansey pick, I think you throw him in instantly. Yeah, we already got Ogadazua. I think he comes in, and especially if he's in the rotation and you already brought back Hankins, I think he's a great addition. I think he makes because that defense is going to be fire again this year. I mean, we brought back like six guys back on defense, six guys on defense. So we're feeling good if you add a guy like Hansey in that mix.
Man, yeah, your boy got Jalen Carter. You know what I'm saying? I know
Yeah.
Eagles fans wanted it, and I provide. That's what I do out here. You know,
I
in
mean,
these
that was
streets.
that's a good pick, and Avila was a
Yeah,
good
he
pick as
thought to
well.
him. Yeah, so yeah, Avila, and then we got Jamie Robinson, who I think is way better than they're giving him credit for. But yeah, that to me, he's a day one starter at safety. KJ Henry is a day one guy in your rotation. I'm not gonna say he's like the best guy in the draft. Obviously, you're getting him in the second, third round for a reason. But I think he's gonna give you instant impact. And Garrett Williams is a guy I know that they have a little bit of interest in, and possibly that happens. So I'm cool with it. I would be okay with it if I woke up, August or April, or what is it going to be? It's going to be like the next month or whatever. If I
Hmm.
woke up after the draft and that was our draft, I would be cool with it. I would be okay with it. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 150 people between both chats, so we definitely appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it. But how are you feeling about just this draft in general? Like I'm feeling like we're getting better at this. We're getting, what I'm saying, we're getting those guys that we know are starting to really mold to what our team wants. So, and we're
Yeah.
seeing what's happening because you see these offseason moves that gives us a little bit more clarity as to where we want to go.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The fact that Cowboys actually made some moves early, Dallas never jumps in there in the first week of free agency. We're always waiting until the third week, and they're getting to the bottom of the barrel players, and they're not making any trades or holding on to the picks. Last year, you had 9 picks and you kept them. Okay, so that was the thought that was going to happen again. You had you had 3 compensatory picks. You were thinking 9 picks again, and you ain't going to do nothing. But now I'm a little bit more excited with this draft, honestly, than last year because you've already welled and dealed. That gets us excited, dog. We ain't been excited like this. You don't wheel and deal picks, even if they're fifth or sixth round. You don't wheel and deal and get quality players back. You just get, oh, who's this dude? You traded who for him? That's what usually the thought pattern is. So now you actually got real guys that are actually filling needs. So now when you got those needs met in free agency and their quality needs that are met, you go into the draft feeling solid because now you don't have to feel the need to reach. You don't have to feel like, oh, we have to get this position because we're missing this spot. That's when you tend to overthink on the draft, and then you might get the wrong type player because of those circumstances. And so that's why I really like it this year because they've actually done those things. They've done really nothing in free agency. If we're keeping it real, they didn't really get anybody on the outside. They just re-signed their own, like they said they were, and they went out and traded. So, like I said, it makes me feel better about the draft because now when I look at the picks, BPA is going to be looking real good because you got a variety of things that you can do now, and you don't have to feel pressed about something when you're going to make that pick. So I like it because it just makes you feel better. And this isn't a star draft to me. This isn't a bunch of stars everywhere, but this is
Yeah.
a lot of good quality depth players, especially when you're hitting them second round to 2 to 4. It's going to be good. Good meaty rounds to me. 2 to 4 is going to be meaty. You're going to get some good players in there.
Yeah. Oh, Uncle Jerry finally looked at
Oh,
what
11
Howie was
picks last year.
doing.
Damn.
How we gave him the blueprint. And I'm proud of the Jones boys. They're learning from the Eagles, and it's
We ain't
about
learning,
time.
dog.
It's
It ain't.
about time. It's
We
good
not
to see.
learning. We not learning from nobody because at the end of the day, they just. I feel like pressure was put on them. Too many people was talking in the streets about how we was talking about this on the final word. How we were going back and forth. Too many people talking about Howie. And maybe Jerry and them tired of hearing that. Howie doing this with the Eagles and they doing that with the Eagles, and the Eagles is the best team. Maybe they didn't want to hear that no more. And you see, as soon as we flex a little bit, you see how the tide changes real quick as soon as we flex a little bit because we are the Cowboys.
We'll see what happens. I can't wait. I can't wait till this upcoming season, man. But I can't wait for this draft. This is gonna be a really good one. So I want to show you something before I get out of here because
Uh huh.
obviously you see the sleigh behind me, but that was gonna have to change, right? So you know where I work, so I was able to get something, and I want to show you before I like set it up because I had to. Hold on. All right. So yeah, when Darius Slay got released and everything, me and my boss was talking or whatever, and I was like, yeah, damn, I have Darius Slay's jersey signed behind me in my show. I'm gonna have to change that. So I know, yeah. So I got a Vic
Ooh,
signed Eagles jersey. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to change it either way,
damn, that's
unfortunately. So
crispy. I mean,
all love the Slay, but
I ain't even gonna front. I don't care for you Eagles, not one bit. But when y'all got Michael Vick, I ain't gonna lie, I liked when y'all had Michael Vick. I like
yeah, we've talked about it. I know you
Michael
got
Vick.
respect.
Michael Vick playing with the Eagles. That was because to me, that was the Vick we all wanted to see.
Yeah.
We all wanted to see the passing Vic. We knew Vic could kill you with them legs, but I wanted to see the passing Vic because I always said, man, if Vic could really just throw that ball, dog, he could throw it. But you know what I mean? The accuracy, taking your time in the pocket, things of that nature, not always breaking the pocket and want to use your athletic ability. I wanted to see that. And when it came to the Eagles, that's what I felt like that was the Vic that I always wanted to see. And I felt like that was the better Michael Vick. We all remember the Atlanta Michael Vick, but to me, that was the Michael Vick that we wanted to see when he was in Philly. Keeping it real, just in my opinion.
He had Falcons ones, but you know what time it is. I wasn't taking no Falcons jersey. I saw that Eagles one. I was like, all right, yeah, I got that one. That's cool with me.
What's up, Matt? How you doing, big dog? Oh, sorry, I had to give my shout out to my dog, Matt.
You good, brother?
But yeah, that's a fire jersey. And what's so fire about it is he actually signed it.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, I was like, all right, I gotta wait. I'm gonna show James, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought we were gonna do the show when the whole news happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, because obviously I think I was at the combine or something, or it might have been the week after. These past 2 weeks have been crazy, but obviously we missed the show. So I was like, let me hold down. I want to show him, because if Darius Slay did move on, it was going to get changed during the show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That was that was the whole plan. But either way, man, you got anything you want? We have 120 people still in here. We really appreciate y'all. Today was a fun one. But do you have anything you want to say to these beautiful people before we get out of here?
No, just always continue to support the channels. Joe's out there doing his thing. Please continue to support his thing. Got our things going on. And also, we're both on the Giant app. So whenever you're going live on your Giant, when I'm going live, please support that. Get in there, jump in there. Come in there live. You can basically get your opinion. People who want their voice to be heard. That's the best platform for your voice to be heard, where you can really just kind of let your voices be spoken. How you want. So definitely go out there, support, jump on that Giant app whenever we do our shows, whenever we broadcast it. Continue to support the Best of Enemies. Remember, there's only one Best of Enemies out there. Okay.
Yeah.
There's only one.
Yeah.
There's only one. I just want to reiterate that there's only one. So if you're hearing of any other thing, of any enemies, anything, dog, I ain't hating, but you know what it is, man. The Best of Enemies, it started here. This is where it's at. This is where it started. And this is where it's finishing, dog. And I got to reiterate that. I ain't hating on nobody in the streets. I ain't talking no trash, nobody in the streets. But Best of Enemies, it started here. You feel me?
The one and only.
The one and only. The actual best of
enemies.
Actual best of enemies. Just let you know.
But we appreciate y'all, man. This is a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun. I loved the chat today. The chat was amazing today. You guys killed it today. But you guys always do. So I don't know why I'm sounding surprised. But we are gonna get out of here. So till next Thursday, I promise no more missing from me. If we miss it, go at James. It's his fault. From now on,
you see the finger, right?
It was all those were my fault, but now no more missing. But we appreciate y'all. But y'all know what it is, man. I am Joe. That is James, and we are the official, the original, the OG,
the OG, the number one, first and only.
Peace, y'all. We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored.